In this video, I want to share with you my homeschool curriculum choices for my upcoming 10th grader. Now, I've already shared my elementary homeschool curriculum choices and my middle school curriculum choices, and Lord willing, I'll be getting out another high school curriculum choice video for my upcoming 12th grader. Now, a typical course load for a high schooler would be 6 courses at a time. Now, I say typical because as homeschoolers, we have the freedom to do things differently and we can switch things up and do what works best for our unique teenager and for our family. But a typical course load would be 6 courses that they would be taking at a time. And 4 of those courses are going to be the core subjects. So that would be math and English, history, and science. These are usually year-long courses. They'd also then have 2 electives. Sometimes the electives are a year-long course and sometimes they're just a semester. In my family and in our homeschool, we have chosen to make one of those electives each year a Bible or worldview course. And then the other elective can be anything from a foreign language to some kind of fine art or practical art, or there really is no limit to the types of electives that you can create for your high schooler. And if you want to know more about creating unique high school courses for your high schooler, I've got a blog post as well as a YouTube video about that. So first off, I'm going to share the core courses that my high schooler is going to be taking, my upcoming 10th grader. And so that will be math and science and history and English. So let's go ahead and start with history. For history, my upcoming 10th grader is going to continue using the Notgrass curriculum. And he's going to be taking world history this year. And I'm just going to double check because I've got a lot of kids and sometimes they get mixed up. But yes, he is doing world history from Notgrass this upcoming school year. Now, the world history course from Notgrass also includes a credit in Bible and a credit in English. And so if you purchase that complete course, your student can get 1 full year credit in history as well as a full year credit in Bible and a full credit in English. And their English covers literature and composition. There's no grammar in there, but it does cover the writing and literature. Now, for my son that's going to be taking this world history course, we are just using it for history. So we're not going to be doing the English component or the Bible component. We're just going to be using that for history, but we'll be going with Notgrass because it's just worked so well for him. So we're going to continue on with that. For science, we're going to be using the BJU Press Physical Science course. And I like to use the online option so they get video lessons from another teacher and it's all accessed online. They also offer a DVD option as well if you don't want your teen online during school time. There's a DVD option and there's also a parent-led textbook option with no video instruction. But I like the video instruction for my kids. I just find that the BJU Press science courses are excellent and the video instruction just adds so much more to their learning experience, and really it makes it come to life for them because I'm not a big fan of science, and so it's great for them to get instruction from somebody who loves what they are teaching. Now, one thing to note when you are picking a science course for your high schooler is that a lot of science courses have a minimum math requirement. And so you want to make sure that your child meets that minimum math requirement so they're not struggling through that science course. And those are usually listed, those prerequisites are usually listed in on the curriculum webpage, website, and it'll usually tell you what those prerequisites are. So those minimum math requirements are important to keep in mind. We certainly don't want our kids to take a science course and then realize that the math they've never learned and it's just overwhelming for them. So just a little tip for you, something to keep in mind. For math, we're also going to be using BJU Press Math and their online video courses. We're going with Algebra 1 this year. And those of you who have followed me for a while, you might remember that this particular child has been using Math You See for several years. So I want to share with you in just a minute why we are switching from Math UC to BJU Press Math this year for this particular child. But before I do that, I want to just reassure you that Math UC is an excellent math curriculum. I have used it in the past to take a child all the way through math from their very first course of alpha all the way through calculus, and that child did very well in college as well. So Math UC is an excellent math course. So why are we switching then from Math UC over to BJU Press Math? Well, there's a couple reasons. One is just this particular child needs more review and reinforcement, which I think BJU Press, their video courses, do a better job of. Math UC has video lessons and they teach the lesson really well, but there's no review or extra reinforcement. And so I think this child's just going to do better with the BJU Press video lessons. Secondly, this is a brand new course put out by BJU Press here in 2024. And so I'm just excited to try out a new course from BJU Press. It also has Mr. Herman as the instructor, which all of my kids really enjoy his teaching and instruction and his sense of humor. But there's a third reason that I am going with BJU Press Math this year. While Math UC is a great math curriculum, it does not come from a biblical worldview, and it also does not offer a lot of practical application. But BJU Press Math does come from a biblical worldview that is incorporated into the math curriculum, and it has some practical application, like when would you use this algebraic lesson that you're learning, when would you use that in real life? And so it shows when you would use that, what kind of career those would be used in. I think that's really helpful and motivating in learning math. But the biblical worldview is also wonderful. And so I just want to read to you from their website a little bit about what it says in their Algebra 1 course. Okay, so this is from the BJU Press website under their Algebra 1 course. It starts by talking about what they're going to be covering and stuff, but it also says that the course emphasizes God's creative design as the basis for reasoning, modeling, and ethics in mathematics. And I just love that. It also has a biblical worldview segment in some of the different lessons. And so again, I love when I can, use a curriculum that brings in that biblical worldview. And so that's probably one of the biggest reasons why we are switching this particular child from Math UC over to BJU Press Math. The last core subject that we need to cover is English. And English is one of those ones that covers a lot of different things. In an English course, there is usually a literature aspect as well as a writing component, composition, and often grammar, if that is something that you want to continue on learning, having your student learn into the high school years. And last year we used BJU Press English, and that has a heavy emphasis on grammar as well as then literature and composition. And this year I really wanted to focus on writing. For all of my kids 5th grade and up, I wanted an emphasis on writing. And so 5th grade and up will all be using curriculum from IEW, the Institute for Excellence in Writing. And so my upcoming 10th grader is going to be using their Structure and Style for Students writing course. It's a video-based writing course. He's going to be doing level C, which is the high school level. They have year 1 and year 2, so obviously we're going to be starting in year 1. He's already used IEW curriculum in the past and done really well with it. So I'm just excited to have this, to go back to it and have this emphasis this year on improving writing skills for all of my children 5th grade and up. Now, because Structure and Style for Students really could be a 1-credit full year course, I didn't want to overwhelm my upcoming 10th grader with a lot of extra stuff in the English course. So what we're going to be doing for grammar is using the Fix It Grammar course from IEW. We're going to be going with, I think it's Mowgli and Shere Khan. And that is a really simple to implement grammar curriculum, 4 days a week, just a few minutes each day. And we're going to be moving through that slowly. So if it takes us 2 years to get through it, I'm okay with that. Again, our focus is on improving writing skills, but I did want to get some grammar in there. Fix-It Grammar works so nicely along with the Structure and Style for Students curriculum from IEW. Now, we also need a little literature in there. So for literature, we're going to be going with a curriculum from Generations, and it is their Great Christian Stories. Now, it has 4 novels or books that your student would read. Many of them we already have over here. I gotta go this way. we have all 4 of them already. And so all I will need to do is purchase the workbook. Now, like I said, there are 4 books to read, but we already have a really full writing curriculum that's going to go into this English course. And so I don't wanna overwhelm my upcoming 10th grader with this heavy literature course as well, because again, this literature course I believe could be a 1 credit course. So what I'm going to do is let my upcoming 10th grader choose 2 of the books to read. There's 4 to choose from. He's going to pick 2. He'll do one semester and 1 the second semester. There's a writing component to this literature course. There's a writing component to this literature course. And so we will not be doing that. He'll be working on vocabulary and reading comprehension and some of the questions of analyzing it from a biblical worldview and all of that. But I will take out some of the writing and other extras so that it isn't so weighty of a curriculum for him. Because again, I am combining the Structure and Style for Students, the Fix-It Grammar, and this literature course from Generations to make an English course, and I'm only giving him 1 credit for it. But technically, he could get a credit for Structure and Style for Students. He could get a credit for the literature course if he did all of it, and he could get probably about a half a credit 1 semester for the Fix-It Grammar. And so I'm trying to just cut some things down so that he can get all of those in and just make 1 English course. So that is what we were doing for English. All right, that covers the 4 core courses, math and science, English, and history. So now we're on to electives. And like I said, for electives, I always have my high schoolers do a Bible or biblical worldview course. And so for my upcoming 10th grader, what we're going to do is 2 different kind of Bible discipleship type courses. For the first semester, he is going to be working through Fundamentals of the Faith. This is a course that 2 of my other kids have already worked through. I have gone through this course several times myself, taken others through it as well. It is actually meant for adults to do in one-on-one discipleship or maybe in a small group setting. But it is really just the fundamentals of the faith. It covers things like, and let me look on here, how to know the Bible, the characteristics and attributes of God, the person of Jesus Christ, the work of Christ. It covers just the salvation, the Holy Spirit, prayer, the church, spiritual gifts, evangelism, obedience, and God's will for our life. And so just some very fundamental things that I think are important for my kids to know, or at least if they already know it, to maybe review and get a firmer foundation in it. The way it works is there is a sermon to listen to, so a 1-hour sermon to listen to each week. There is a scripture to memorize, and then there are worksheets to work through based on those different topics that I just mentioned. And so that should just take him, maybe a half hour or less each day to work through that course. I will be having him keep a little journal so that as he is listening to the sermon, he is going to be taking notes, and then we will on Friday be going over what he learned from the sermon and then looking over all of the worksheets that he did and making sure everything was correct, discussing what he learned, any questions that he has, and then of course he will be saying his memory verse to me and making sure he has that down. So that is what we're going to be doing the first semester for Bible. For the second semester, we're going to be using a book called Disciplines of a Godly Man, and this is a book that just walks through some disciplines of and habits of a godly man. There are questions at the end of each chapter that he can work through, and I'm hoping that my husband can go through this with him. So he'll be doing that book and working through that the second semester. Now that leaves one more elective each semester, and for the first semester here in the upcoming fall semester, he's going to be taking a course from HSLDA Academy. If you're not familiar with HSLDA Academy, I encourage you to check it out. They have live online courses, and what I mean by that is we're BJU Press. My kids access online, but everything's pre-recorded and they work through it at their own pace. These are live courses where your student is going to interact with the other classmates and with the teacher, and they are put on by HSLDA, which is Homeschool Legal Defense Association. They have an academy. He's going to be doing the computer skills course. It's a one-semester course. I thought it'd just be a good introduction for him to computer skills. A lot of the information he probably already knows, but I thought it would be a good test run at just taking a live course and having set deadlines that his mother can't change, and interacting with the other students online and with the teacher as well. So we're going to be doing that. For the second semester in the spring, we are still debating what we are going to do for that last elective, that half a credit, one semester course in the spring. There are some other excellent courses from HSLDA that are possible options. We're also looking at some of the one semester courses from Film School for Teens. They have some really neat courses there. Some of them are year long, but they do have some semester courses. We're also looking at some courses doing an electrician type course, introduction to electrical work, auto mechanics, things like that, more very practical skills, or even an internship. So I have a blog post about unique high school electives, and we're really just talking about and discussing which ones of those he would like to do. And we'll probably make a decision about that towards the end of this first semester. I want him to just kind of think about and see what he'd be interested in and what he'd like to do. And you never know what opportunities might come up in the next few months that we might want to just jump on. If there's a new course we hear about or a possibility for an internship, we want to leave that open. So it's still an unknown, but we've got some ideas for that last elective in the spring. So that is what my upcoming 10th grader is going to be doing this next school year, 2024-2025. Can't believe we're already there. If you have some courses, high school level courses that you and your kids have really enjoyed, would you share those down in the comments? It's always wonderful to hear from fellow homeschool moms and grandmas and dads about what curriculum and courses have been really successful for you and that your kids have really enjoyed. So share those down in the comments. All right, you guys, thank you for watching, and keep an eye out for that last homeschool curriculum choice video with my upcoming 12th grader.